Hello everyone and welcome back to the Formula 2 World Tour in F1 2020. The next round is Shanghai, round 2 of the championship here in China. So the home race for Guan Yu Zhou, so let's see how he can go at his home event. But first up for qualifying, it is the rainy conditions, so this is going to be quite tricky. This is the best lap I managed to put in. All the other ones had rather significant mistakes. So through turn 1 and 2, getting through very nicely actually. They are probably my favourite corners on the track, maybe some of my favourite of the entire season here. But as we continue on towards the end of the first sector, it was very tricky to get a lap together in these conditions, to put the power down. As you can see, they're really struggling to, and that's costing us a little bit of time at that part of the circuit. Out of the slow corner, it's just so hard to get the power down. So that is the key to getting a decent lap time here, and just keeping up the speed through corners like this, carrying as much speed as possible, missing the apex on the left there, and that's costing us a bit of time as well. And as we continue on, still really struggling for traction there, having to use all the road on the left to catch the car after well, it's a fairly small slide really, but anyway, through this next series of corners, this is an important exit to get a good run onto this very long back straight. So trying to carry the speed here, again very tricky on the traction, but we do get onto the back straight, and now it is just sit and wait until we get to the braking zone. No DRS in the rainy conditions. The drag reduction system not available. Obviously that would be quite dangerous, but into the braking zone now, and just 2 corners to go really on this circuit, and really struggling to get the car turned through that really low speed car there. Again struggling on the power, and just the final corner to go now. Let's see if we can at least finish the lap nicely, getting through there. Again a bit of a wheel spin, but as we head across the line, it's going to be P7 as things stand.
Qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top 3 are Mazepin, Matsushita and Antoine Hubert. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye.
And by the time we finish the session, we're down at the back of the pack.
If you can't tell by the roar of the crowds, it's race day, and I think it's gearing up to be a really special one.
Shanghai is a track that doesn't waste any time testing the driver's abilities. With tight turns as early as turn 1, the wet conditions out on the track will only make this more evident, making brake management key to today's race. The circuit also provides us with one of the longest straights of the season, coming in at 1.2 kilometers between turns 13 and 14. But due to current conditions, I doubt that we will see any exceptionally high speeds.
Well then, after an exciting session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up.
An immense lap from
Nikita Mazepin
yesterday puts him on pole position, and Nobuharu Matsushita completes the front row.
Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hubert, King, Louis Delatraz, and Boccolacci, Ilott, Schumacher, Aitken, Nick de Vries, Giotta, Sete Camara, Nicholas Latifi, and Alesi, Joe, Correa, Boschon, and Tatiana Calderon.
Rajhulaford.
And Sean Galale completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are on the grid then for the feature race here in China, and you can see the rain is still falling as it was in qualifying, but thankfully the heavy rain should only last 5 to 10 minutes, and then it'll be to the light rain, and then maybe 15 to 20 minutes into the race it will dry up completely. So it won't be a lot of rain, but still enough to dampen the spirits heading into this one as we go to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the Chinese feature race, and it's an okay start. Not great, but not terrible. That's a great start on the left-hand side there by Ralph Boschung. But into the first corner up the inside of Guan Yu Zhou, the home favourite here in China, though he did not qualify too well, as we're just trying to even see where the track goes through here. Lucky it is a circuit I've done many laps of, but very difficult to see and really struggling for visibility and traction, and we can't get the move done around the outside of Guan Yu Zhou, and we're really even struggling to keep Ralph Boschung behind Caesar on the left hand side there. We're going to see if we can make a move up the inside. We might get Guan Yu Zhou here as well, as we have another look up the inside of Lacey, but we're not going to get him as we all bunch up into that little hairpin, but Zhou gets a good exit and we can't even overtake him either. So yeah, we're just trying to play it safe in these early phases to just make sure we get to the dry period in the race, and that is the most important thing. Even if we're running near the back, at least we are still running, and we can't afford to take our front wing off here, so we just need to keep our nose clean, literally, and yeah, just make sure we stay out of trouble. So as we continue on then through the first lap, we might be able to make a move on Guan Yu Zhou into the hairpin at the end of the back straight. That is my current goal at the moment, to see if we can maybe make a move there, if we can get a good exit through this very long right-hander. It seems like we've got an okay exit onto the back straight.
That's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused.
And yeah, we have held a position from our grid, but unfortunately we weren't able to make that move, and Ralph Boschung actually overtakes us as we head towards the first corner. We go back up the inside, a very big dive there, and we go a little bit wide. Boschung switches back to the inside as we make a little bit of contact through this ever-tightening right-hander. We've got the inside line though for the next left, and we make sure we keep this position and hold back Ralph Boschung for a bit longer. A couple of cars enter the pit lane. Sergio Seta Camera is one of those. I'm not sure who the other was, but the safety car is out now, and that is because Nikita Mazepin, who started at the front, is out of the race with a mechanical issue, parks it up, and that brings out the safety car. So there you have it. That's going to be a few less laps we need to do in the wet conditions, and in fact things are looking pretty dry, so I'm going to take the risk here, as we did get the strategy option to box onto the dry tyres. The restart is actually happening as we speak, and I'm actually kicking myself not to have taken this risk earlier and been able to catch up to the field while they were all bunched up, but they're all at racing speed again, so a bit of a missed opportunity here. But Callum Ilott is in the pits as well, our teammate, so we're going to have to double stack here. As you can see, losing so much time, the team have to pack up all of his equipment, bring out ours. There go his tyres, so it's, yeah, a really frustrating time for us to have to make a pit stop, but eventually they get going with ours, get the new dry compound tyres on, and we're underway once again. But we lost so much time, probably 10 seconds or so at least, maybe more, and we've dropped to the back of the field behind the likes of Jack Aitken, who are ahead of us. But he should be up higher. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, what happened to Seta Camera? He's still in wets. Oh, he made that extra stop earlier. Trying to put the race together in my head of exactly what's happening. But as we continue on then, after everyone else makes their stops, you can see we don't gain anything in terms of track position. So we really could have just held it out on the wet tyres for another lap, and it might have actually helped us. Because we wouldn't have had to double stack. It was a bit of a catch-22 being the second car, as we squeezed down the inside of Jack Aitken, and that was we were very lucky not to damage the car there. But around the outside we go, but Aitken with a good drive traction out of that left-hander, and he holds on to the position. But as we head along the back straight towards the hairpin, we'll see if we can make a move on Aitken. We're going to have a look to the inside, and we make that move nice and easy, and we can now focus on the next car, Louis Delatraz. I actually thought he started up near the front too, but maybe I'm misremembering things. It's been a weird old race so far, so who knows what's going to happen. As we go up the inside of Delatraz, is a very unorthodox place to go for a move, but we did get it done. Had to leave a bit of space on the inside there, as he got a nice switchback to the inside through there, but we held on. Next up is Sergio Sette Camera, who is a lap down now after a bit of a weird old race for him, making that early stop. I guess he must have got some damage, so yeah, it's not been a great race for Sette Camera, but anyway, as we get past him, we move on and focus back on the next car, who is fighting for track position with us. That is Calderon, as we have a look up the inside. Never mind, not going to get the move done there into this very tight section of the circuit, but if we can get a good run on the back straight, we should be able to make the move just here, and we do get the move done, and we get past Tatiana Calderon, but she's got a good run here actually, still sitting in the slipstream behind us, so we might have to watch out for her as we head towards the final hairpin, as she's sitting in the slipstream but not close enough to go for a move, and we maintain the position. Next up is Sean Galale. So when will we have the chance to overtake him? Surprise, surprise, along the back straight. This has been a very fast section of track for us. Out of that long right-hander onto this straight, we seem to have a lot of pace as Galale is defending. We go to the outside, but we're a little bit blocked off here, and we can't quite make the move. It's Galale's later on the brakes, and we are not able to make that move. Ralph Boschem was sort of parked in front of us, and I didn't want to go too late on the brakes in case we ran into the back of him, but now we're taking a really wide line here, trying to tuck back to the inside of Galale, just sneak in that little gap there, and we will make the move very, very nicely on the Indonesian driver and move ourselves ahead of Sean Galale. Next up is the Trident car of Ralph Boschung, so let's see if we can catch up to him in the same place we have done many times before in this race. So heading towards those critical few corners for us. We're a long way behind Boschung, but you can see into the braking zone here, closing that gap significantly. Then through this right-hander, we should be able to gain a lot of ground here as we try to straighten up the exit, take as much of that inside curve as we can, and we do blow past Ralph Boschung rather easily there and move ahead of the Swiss driver. Next up, Nicholas Latifi in the Dan's car, but that's Guan Yu Zhou on the right hand side, parked up with an engine failure, and that brings out to the safety car. No reason to pit under this one, so we immediately cut back to the restart and get underway for this race once again, and try and focus once again on Nicholas Latifi. We're going to be able to make the move on him into this left-hander, very tight there, and not a likely place to make a move as we run side by side still, but we will eventually inch ahead of the Canadian and move ourselves up and into 9th position. One more spot and we will have a reverse grid pole. That would be a great comeback in this race. So let's see if we can overtake Nick de Vries, the Dutchman, in the ART car. Really good traction out of this right-hander once again, and we should be able to make the move on Nick de Vries in a straight line here. Duck in for a bit of slipstream. DRS open. Actually no DRS because it's just after a safety car restart, so we're just going to have to do this on pace alone as we go around the outside of Nick de Vries late on the brakes, but you have to leave room for him on the inside. He actually gets a better exit than us, and Nick de Vries holds on to the position, so great job there, de Vries. And now rain may be falling again very soon, so let's hope that holds off until the race ends, and maybe it can come later on. But that's really great traction out of that right-hander that time, straight past him before he even gets up to speed again, and that's an easy move for us. Next up is Luca Giotto. Let's see if we can make a little switch to the inside here like we've done before. We do get up the inside of Luca Giotto and make the move on the Italian. He's still on the left-hand side though as we round the left-hander, and we're going to have a side-by-side moment on the exit. Gives us a big squeeze, but just enough space given as we run side-by-side still as we head into this little hairpin. Late on the brakes, almost into the back of the car ahead of us, but we do make the move on Luca Giotto. That was Jordan King up ahead, who we almost drilled the gearbox, but we managed to avoid him thankfully, and we can try and overtake him right now on the exit of our favourite corner on the circuit, it seems, and we do get past Jordan King. Next up is our own teammate Callum Ilott, who held us up in the pit lane earlier in the race. We might be overtaking him here as we head towards the hairpin, late on the brakes. Ilott actually moving a little bit there in the braking zone, but we do make the move on him, and we have a big slide on the exit, but we should be able to hold on to this, and we do. Next up, Mick Schumacher, and again we move on to this back straight, and we just seem so fast in this part of the circuit, and we can brake quite late into this corner. Schumacher moving in the braking zone as we almost run into the back of Antoine Hubert, but we managed to overtake the German, son of Michael Schumacher, obviously, and here is the onboard with Hubert, and that was so close to running into the back of him, but thankfully we avoided contact. Also, as I was looking at the replay, I noticed this. I don't know what it is. It looks like a backfire flame, but there's no cars over here for that to come from, so I don't know, some kind of spark or flame of some kind, but who knows where that came from. We have ghost fires in F1 2020 now, so that's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, there's no cars in line with where this is, so who knows what this is doing here, but you can see as we exit photo mode, it's on the right hand side there. There's no one over there, so who knows what the deal is with that. But anyway, we continue on, ignoring that ghost fire, and we go for a move. No, little look, but no overtakes on Hubert. At this point, we're losing a little bit of pace at this stage of the race, as Matsushita is in the lead. Surprise, surprise. He is very, very speedy, but we have a run here maybe with the DRS. Hubert is proving very, very difficult for us to overtake. A fastest lap of the race, so we do have pace in this car as we send it around the outside of Hubert through this very long right-hander switch to the inside. No, we can't quite get there this time, and that tactic just isn't quite working for us. But now we're on to the back straight, get a really great run through here, and now we might be on to make a move on the Frenchman that we got so close to the gearbox of a few laps ago. He has DRS as well, though. You can see the rear wing opening up, and that's making it very difficult for us to overtake as we get squeezed onto the grass. We push him back to the inside as he almost runs into the back of Dorian Boccolacci, but
Okay, watch the aggression, please.
yeah, we need to watch out because we have just given him a bump there, but we'll be alright. We'll be able to keep fighting on. But yeah, now we are really running out of time in this race to make this overtake. So a really great run here. Too good though. We actually have to slow ourselves down on the exit to avoid running into the back of him. That is how fast we are through that right-hander. But a purple middle sector, that's the fastest of the race. We're now on the final lap, so we really don't have time. We have to make this move right now. We go down the inside into the hairpin, and we should be able to pull it up nicely and get the move done finally on Hubert. But what a great race this has been for Nobuharu Matsushita, and for his title hopes, this one will be a very, very good result. Dorian Boccolacci finishes in P2, will bring it home for a nice recovery in third.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Whew. That was a decent race, that one. I quite enjoyed it. We get driver of the day as well.
A great win then for the Carlin team today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
The safety car made a big difference today, there's no doubt about it. I can't be certain, but it would have been a very different race and probably podium 2 without it. What I do know is that they came out of that situation in a favorable position. The safety car really does alter the balance of the race.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raised some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance.
So it's Nobuharu Matsushita who takes the win here in China for the feature race. Dorian Boccolacci, a great race for him in P2, and we bring home third position.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Juan Manuel Correa, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Alex, I choose Juan Manuel Correa. Just impressed me in the overtakes maneuver, so well done to you.
On to the teams then. Charus moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, Carlin moved up the table with another strong performance this weekend. Goodbye for now then, But we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Okie dokie. I will, because I'm in the race. I need to join you. But anyway. Alright, so yeah, I was overall very, very happy with that race. And I'm not sure what was going on, but with that right-hander onto the back straight, we were very evenly matched with everyone else around the rest of the circuit. But through that one corner, we just had so much grip. So yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that, but it helped us make a lot of moves along the back straight, so I'm not complaining too much. But yeah, the opening phases of this race were very, very tricky. We weren't making any progress through the field, but those two safety cars really helped us overall. The first one, maybe not so much, but it helped us close the gap whilst we lost a lot of time in the first stint, you know. So it helped us a little bit, but that second one in particular, that bunched up the field closer to the end of the race when we had some good pace. That was the one that really helped us out, and we were able to make moves on the restart and throughout the rest of the race once the field were all bunched up. So yeah, really great that we got those safety cars. But I briefly mentioned it during the race, but when that first safety car was called out and it was still raining, I seriously considered boxing for the dry tyres. Even though the track was still wet, I knew it was going to dry up soon, but in the end I thought, no, I won't risk it. It could end up being quite silly, but that would have worked for us because the track was dry enough. As soon as the safety car went back into pit lane, the track was dry enough for the slick tyres to work. So it was very, very frustrating to lose that one, to lose that opportunity, and even more so to double stack because of it. But oh well, that's just the decision we made this time. It didn't work out for us, unfortunately. But oh well, we will be in a good position for the sprint race, so let's see if we can win that. Let's get into it.
It looks like it's that time once again as our drivers prepare themselves for today's big championship race.
As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remain calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
So here we are on the grid then for the sprint race here in China. So let's see what we can achieve in this one. The strategy, of course, will be just the no stop, of course, on one compound of tyre. No compulsory pit stops required in this one. No rain to interfere, so let's go to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the sprint race here in Shanghai, and it's a pretty bad start for us. A great one for Matsushita on the left-hand side as we try and get up the inside of Hubert into the first corner. Got to watch out because that's Latifi down the inside on the right. Great start from him as we try to squeeze through the middle, round the outside of our teammate. Not going to get there. Latifi still on the outside line, so we need to worry about him before we worry about any of the cars ahead of us, as Ilott gets ahead of Schumacher. Latifi gets ahead of us, and we lose out to him. We try to make a move up the inside of Latifi though into this hairpin, and we do just that and get ahead of the Canadian. Next up is Mick Schumacher, who was just overtaken by our teammate, who is up into the podium places already at the start of this race. So we'll see if we can join him in those positions soon. But first up is Mick Schumacher. We'll see if we can make an overtake on him in our favourite place on the circuit. Now that this race is going to be dry for the entire time, I'm not sure if we'll have that same advantage through that corner, but you never know. We just might. So trying to line it up here taking a bit of a late apex, trying to point the car to the right already to try and get down the inside here on the exit, and we do still have some good drive through there, and we make the move on Mick Schumacher rather easily. Next up is Callum Ilott, no DRS available. Of course, it is only the opening lap, but we might be able to make a move still if we can get close enough. We're not really, and we sit behind our teammate for a little bit longer. So yeah, settling into this race already, it seems, after just one lap, and we will just wait for an opportunity to overtake our teammate. But a big lose at the back end there on the second lap, and Schumacher manages to get back past us as we have a little look back up the inside, but no move to be made there as we try and set up this exit once again, and trying to get the nose to the inside of Mick Schumacher, and we do, and squeeze through there. I'm not sure why they are so slow through there, but I'll certainly take it, and we get that position back almost as quickly as we lost it. Next up is Callum Ilott. We have a look up the inside, not making a move. That was very close to damaging our front wing if we tried to send it up the inside there, but we sat back and let Ilott keep the position for now. Again, we're too fast through the right-hander and have to back off, but we should have the advantage here sitting behind. We will have DRS this lap as it is now available, and we will be able to make the move down the inside as we head towards the hairpin up the inside of Ilott, who moves in the braking zone, and that is very dangerous stuff there from our British teammate, but we should be able to get the traction on the exit. No bit of wheel spin, and yeah, we don't need to take each other out. That is very true, Jeff, but Ilott was the one moving in the braking zone. I would like to point that out. But as we continue on making more contacts with the back of our teammate, I was really desperately trying to get up the inside there, but Ilott was having none of it, and things are getting a little bit feisty in this one between us. But onto the back straight, we should still have some decent pace along here. I don't think we actually damaged the car running into the back of our teammate there, so that was very, very lucky. So as we get the DRS assistance up the inside of Ilott, who locks up, but we still can't make the move on our teammates. So despite him making a few little mistakes now, we just can't make the overtake work on him. So we move on again to the back straight, and we're going to have to go for a dive from further back this time. He moves in the braking zone again, but we're starting to anticipate that, and we make the move on Callum Ilott much easier this time, and get ahead of him. Next up is Luca Giotto, and then Jordan King, and that is the podium at the moment. So we're doing alright, but Ilott back up on the outside line here as we get the fastest lap of the race. Ilott might be able to make a move around the outside here as we head through the first corner. We make sure we show him the wide line, and we take the racing line through, and we make sure we hold that position ahead of our teammate. We don't want him back ahead of us after all that work trying to get past him the first time. But Giotto and King are very close. They might start fighting away very soon, so we might be able to make a move on them at some point. But Nick de Vries retires from the race with a mechanical failure. Unfortunate for him, he will not finish the race here in China. So yeah, that is Nick de Vries out of the race. So that brings out the safety car, and that will bunch everyone up and get us closer to those two cars ahead. No pit stops in the sprint race, so we can't really gain any kind of advantage by stopping now, but we may be able to later if there's another safety car, but it's unlikely. Unlikely that a pit stop will be useful in this race, so we won't worry about that too much. But as we continue on the restart up the inside of Giotto, he doesn't see us coming. The contact has made more contact on the apex. He definitely knew we were there by then. He made contact earlier. He did not leave us space, and now we've got damage to our front wing. I don't know what on earth he was doing there. Just absolutely drove into the side of us, or drove his side into us. I'm not sure how to word that sentence, but he broke our front wing on the apex, and that is going to affect our performance for the rest of the race. Jeff is suggesting that we box right now, but I don't think that's a good idea. The damage is going to slow us down for sure, but at the end of the day, we don't have the tyres to pit now. We've got a half-used set of the harder compound tyres, so the same as what we are on now, and a couple of brand new sets of the softer compound, but they won't last until the end of the race from here, or if they do, it will be a bit of a stretch. So we may pit if there's another safety car, but for right now we just don't have the tyres available to do that and to make it work. So we might have to keep fighting, because the damage doesn't seem to be slowing us down all that much. So I'm not sure what the damage is, what part of the front wing's missing. I did see a bit of carbon fibre fly off, but it's clearly not a crucial part, because it isn't hindering us too much as we try to go around the outside of Giotto, but not able to make the move. We get a bit of grass on the tyres instead, and now Ilot's around the outside into the final corner, and again we show him the wide line and hold on to the position. Hubert is Schumacher is going to get involved now, not Hubert. Those cars are behind, battling away now, but no positions actually change. But as we continuing to fight with Giotto up the inside into the hairpin, and this time we should be able to make the move. So yeah, we're not lacking too much pace clearly, as we're still able to make these moves on the cars around us. So that's great for us, but unfortunately we just don't really have what it takes to chase down Jordan King. It seems a lot of wheel spin there on the exit. We are definitely losing a little bit of grip with that damage, and there's some evidence of it there, and Giotto is able to get back through. We go back up the inside though into this double left-hander, and we make the move again on Luca Giotto, and now he's paddling away with our teammate Callum Ilott. But continuing on, that is Jack Aitken with a mechanical failure, and that is very close on the left-hand side there with one of the Ardennes cars. I think that was Calderon. We'll see on onboard in just a moment as he pulls off the road. Here is Calderon, and oh, that was close on the right front. Good job by her to avoid contact there with Aitken, who was slowing on the exit. But that brings out the safety car as Guan Yu Zhou retires again with another mechanical failure. You might have seen at the top of the screen there. So 2 retirements at once. Bring out the safety car. We box for a new front wing, as you can see happening right now, and the soft compound of Tyres. So we're going to be very, very quick for the remaining couple of laps here, but the key is there's only a few laps to go, so
Exit now.
it's going to be very, very tricky to make an impact in the closing phases, but we might be able to do it as we are speeding around trying to catch up to the field. They are all behind the safety car. Their tyres are getting colder and colder as ours will be getting warmer and warmer, so it might work out for us as we get underway once again when we do catch up to the field by the time we get underway. So that is great for us. I was slightly worried for a time, but anyway, our first target to overtake is Nikita Mazepin, who's had a horrible weekend after starting on pole position, I believe. But yeah, not great. Not a great weekend for him, unfortunately, here in China. And we're going to go for a big dive here up the inside of the Russian, and we will make the move on him. A lot of wheel spin on the exit, but we still managed to get better traction than he does, so that is great for us. We make the move now down the inside of Giuliano Alesi, who's also been struggling this weekend after a pretty good opening count back in Melbourne. But next up is Louis Delatraz, the Swiss driver. We power past him on the exit of the right-hander onto the back straight, and now Sergio Sade Camera as we sit in the slipstream of the Brazilian up the inside as we head towards the hairpin, and we might be able to outbrake the next car here if we're late enough up the inside of Mahavir Raghunathan, and we will make the move on the Indian and finally up into 12th position. So that is just in one lap after the safety car. This is going to be a fun closing stage to the race. Next up is Ralph Boschum as we get the fastest lap of the race. Where will we overtake Boschum? We probably will get it around the outside of the first corner, trying to use the grip we have to switch back to the inside, and we squeeze in there and just about make that move, almost running into the back of Tatiana Calderon, who is now in the top 10. So it's been a good race for Calderon this time, but we'll see if we can spoil that party a little bit and break into the top 10, and then we'll only be a few positions away from getting points up the inside of Calderon from a long way back, and we make that move on the Colombian. And
You're in P10.
P10 now, so making a great progress. Next up is Sean Galale, and we power past him on the exit onto the back straight. No competition there. Next up, as we head up the inside of Hubert, very close, a little bit of grazing on the front left there with his front right, but we make the move on the Frenchman. And now, as we have a little check of front wing to make sure we don't have damage, we get up the inside of Dorian Boccolacci, the other Frenchman in the field. So next up is Nobuharu Matsushita up the inside as we head into the hairpin. Once again, the first sector hairpin, not the last sector hairpin. But anyway, next up is Latifi. We're going to try and squeeze around the outside to the inside of the double left-hander, and we make a move on the Canadian. Next up is Mick Schumacher. So that is crazy. We're up into 5th position in this race, and very, very quickly closing up to 4th. But our tyre advantage is fading as we're on the second to last lap now. We don't quite have the same grip advantage as we did before, and you can see he's struggling a little bit through the first half of that right-hander, but still getting a decent run and enough to get past Mick Schumacher as we run side by side along the back straight. He has a little bit of a burst of speed there, but we should be able to make a move up the inside into the hairpin, and we do just that and get ahead of Mick Schumacher. Next up is the Italian Luca Giotto, who took off our front wing earlier at this very corner into the first corner, trying to get up the inside of Luca Giotto, and we sneak through this time and we make sure we get our nose ahead, and so we can't break that front wing of ours. Next up is our teammate Callum Ilott, who's putting pressure on Jordan King, and if we can get a good exit here, we might be able to grab both of them on the final lap here. There's just 2 corners to go, and we're a little bit held up by our teammate as we get a good exit, and he really does not. You can see the ground he's lost to Jordan King through there, side by side with Callum Ilott along the back straight. We need to be late on the brakes here if we want any chance of overtaking Jordan King. We are late on the brakes, very, very late. But we get up the inside of King, a little bit too deep into the corner, though. We're only just making the exit, but King is on the outside line, so he might be able to drive around the outside here. We'll have to leave him some space, but we push him out quite wide, and we do push him out. We do get ahead, and we will cross the line in 1st position.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
What a finish that was to that race. Last to first in a couple of laps. How about that?
Brilliant stuff from Charouz today. What a superb victory. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Wow, well, there's no doubt that the race was impacted as soon as the safety car made an appearance. It was so important how the successful team today reacted to this situation. They were decisive and stuck to their strategy, which really helped them take an advantage.
Looks like they're on their way out onto the podium now, and what a result this is. A popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Charouz team on top here today.
So, there we have it. Had to be aggressive after that last restart. We had nothing to lose, and we managed to come home with the freaking race win after being last with only a handful of laps to go.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a good result for Juan Manuel Correa, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
It's a difficult call, but I take Juan Manuel Correa. He was just better than everyone else in treating the tires. He conserved it till the end. He made the difference.
And now a look at the team standings. Charouz moved further clear at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the MP Motorsport team today as they make their way up the standings. That's the end of today's race. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you'll agree it was a great race and sets us up nicely for the next installment in a few weeks' time. Take care.
Well, there we have it, the end of the round in China, and we come away with a fairly sizable championship lead. What to say about that race? I don't even know where to start. We made some good progress in the early phases, but at the end of the day that really didn't account for too much, that contact with the Giotto. was going to ruin our race until that last safety car came out with Guan Yu Zhou and Jack Aitken retiring at the same time. And yeah, that really put us back in the fight, even though it dropped us to the back as we made our pit stop on the softer compound of tyres. We just had a ridiculous amount of pace. That was incredible. The tyre wear in these Formula 2 cars, you don't necessarily notice it when you're driving them, but in the actual time loss on old tyres, it can be quite incredible. Even in real life, you know, you can be losing 4 to 5 seconds a lap if you don't treat your tyres properly. And yeah, we certainly saw full evidence of that in the game today. And yeah, that really I guess, yeah, that really helped us being on the better tyres at the end, and brought us back into the fight. Still had to send it though in the closing stages, but yeah, really happy with the way that one ended. To get the move done at the final corner was very nice. So yeah, wouldn't quite rank it quite as high as the Vietnam? No, it was Singapore rather. That race in the normal career mode, but still very good ending to this one. So yeah, other than that though, there is not a lot left to cover, so I will say thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Good.